You tell us a little bit about yourself and your role here as mayor and how you kind of came into the role as mayor of Littleton.
Well, I've been in Littleton now 17 years, and when I moved here, I thought I had found the perfect place. And within about 4 years from moving here, the neighborhood that I moved into, there was a large, probably I think 25-acre field to the side, and there was a petition or a request for a Walmart to rezone in there, and I just could not handle thinking I was going to lose my neighborhood. So I ended up fighting that Walmart for about a year and a half. We ended up winning, and I kind of took control and led the group, and it took an army. I mean, the entire community, those that were opposed to it, really came together. We had hundreds of people that supported it, but we were fighting Walmart, right? So we had money and time. So it took a year and a half, but we had to go through a referendum, get signatures, get it on the ballot, and we did win. So the Walmart did not go in. And shortly after that special election, then there was a council election. Cool. And it was like, oh, you've got to run for council. And so I thought, I think this might be a really good opportunity. And part of the challenge with the Walmart was watching the way that city leadership were handling some issues and concerns. And I thought, if you really don't like what's going on, one thing is to fight it, but the other thing may be to get in and change it.
Now, did you have a background in any kind of council position?
No, nothing. I came up from advertising and marketing. I worked for a number of ad agencies in Denver, and then I started my own business. I kind of got tired of, driving to work every day, I guess. So after about 25 years, I decided to start my own business. I did professional organizing. The whole council thing, there's not really classes to go through, or you just get up there.
Running.
Yeah, one day you're watching, The Voice, and the next day you're sitting behind the dais making policy decisions. So that's
awesome.
Kind of local government.
Well, so what are some of the things that drew you to the Littleton community in the first place?
Well, I had lived in pretty much central Denver-ish, and I was just getting kind of wanted a little bit more room, and I also I knew that my dollar would go a little bit further in the suburbs. So anyway, I moved out and I wasn't intentionally looking for Littleton, but I did find a home in a location that I really, really loved. And so this is the longest I've ever lived in one place. And so I moved here in 2002, and I was shocked the other day when I realized how many years I lived here.
Yeah, so there are some changes on the horizon for the Littleton area. What can you tell us about the progress that is being made with the C470 expansion and how that will affect, in particular, people living here?
Yeah, the C470 expansion is just a massive, massive transportation project, and it really spans a number of counties and a number of municipalities. So I think the biggest effect that it will have on the Littleton community is getting some of the traffic off our streets back onto C470 once it's completed. We've really noticed what happens when a major thoroughfare, traffic starts to slow down, and what happens to your local streets. So that's going to be good when it's done. We'll hopefully see some relief there. But I think the other thing is that it's just an indication of the growth of the entire region and how we're really dealing with transportation issues, getting mobility, getting people moved around. These projects are huge, and they cost a fortune to do, and obviously take a lot of time. It's been really disruptive. I mean, I think that they're doing the best that they can, but it has been very disruptive with the closings. One of our great trails and access, that bike trails, walking trails, has been closed. Be closed for probably another month and a half while they rebuild a bridge and stuff like that. So it's been, and I think we're going into it feels like year 3 with it. So I think that, once it's said and done and over, it will be great, and hopefully we'll see some of the benefit of moving that traffic back onto the interstate.
We're also curious about the new development being built at Broadway and Dry Creek Road, the Littleton Village. So what can you tell us about that project?
Well, Littleton Village has been an interesting project. It's been a piece of property that really struggled to get redeveloped. And so the folks that are redeveloping it now, we rezoned it for 900 residential units and 250,000 square feet of retail, commercial. Retail is a challenging entity at this point, and you just don't see a lot of retail shops being, and part of it is, getting killed by the internet. So we're seeing some restaurants go in there, some service business. There's a Starbucks. I think there's supposed to be a Culver's. There's supposed to be, I guess, a Denny's, and then some other stuff. So hopefully those things will start to materialize, because as they continue to build the housing units, obviously those folks would like to have some of those amenities. A lot of the challenge has been just kind of trying to get stuff to come up out of the ground. And so I think that hopefully once we start to see the residential finish being built out, and there'll be an opportunity. They do have like a 10-acre park in the center too that they're putting in.
So your bio on the Littleton government website also includes your work supporting the open space, water flows in the South Platte River, and trail safety. What makes these issues specifically important to you and the city of Littleton?
Well, Littleton's really blessed in that we have one of the largest suburban parks in the country. It's nearly 900 acres, South Platte Park, and it is a preserve. It's a wildlife sanctuary of sorts. We have 5 lakes in there. One of the lakes that we have is protected, so no use on it. Okay. And primarily because of the wildlife that uses the park. We have over 250 migratory birds that come in and out of the park all year. We have a herd of white-tailed deer, a herd of mule deer. We've got coyotes, fox, raccoons, muskrats, a number of other mammals. We have seen signs of a bobcat, that probably got lost because that's not normal. And it's just the river runs through it. We've got the Mary Carter Greenway, which is the bike trail, which is used by close to over 700,000 people every year, and continues to see more and more use. We have little spots where people can enjoy getting in and fishing in the river and those types of things. And so it's really important to, when you have something like that, to really try to protect it, because there's so much encroachment on it. So it's a lot of work, but it's really important because you have to do this work now so that the next population, the next generation, the people that are going to come in 10 years and 20 years will still continue to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, all right. So what, in your opinion, are some of the biggest challenges that the city of Littleton faces?
Well, I think most of the challenges we face are the same as the other communities are facing in the metropolitan area, and largely it's dealing with growth, dealing with transportation issues, dealing with housing issues. Those are all issues we deal with, and a lot of times, the issues we deal with in Littleton are, like I said, many are exactly the same as other regions are dealing with, because even though we have city limits, there really are no boundaries for a lot of this. So we're dealing with the homelessness and how to serve that population. We're dealing with, recruiting good and smart businesses. We're dealing with making sure our schools stay healthy and vibrant, and all of those things. So I think that overall, one of the really positive things about being in Littleton, being in the metropolitan area, being particularly even in the South region, is that we work so collaboratively with other communities. And so when you're going to work on a problem like homelessness, what we've done is we've reached out to Inglewood and Sheridan, and we kind of call ourselves the Tri-Cities. Yeah. And so we're working with them. We put together a commission where the 3 communities are working together on that. We're also working together on issues affecting Santa Fe. And because that's a CDOT highway, but it runs through all our communities. Yeah. So working together on those things is really, I think, what's helping us to be able to get a lot more done than working alone.
What are some of your primary focus areas for the city itself, and what areas keep you the most busy?
Oh, I think the primary focus is whatever pops up on the email that day, right? I think that one of the primary focuses that we've been working on as a council for the last year and a half, and we'll continue to work on through the end of the year, is a rewrite of our comp plan. And that's kept us very busy. And it's a 1981 comp plan, originated there. We've done some updates along the way. I think the last one was in 1991 or so. So it's really, really important now we get this thing done. And so that's been a real priority, putting together a transportation plan, dropping some master plans on areas, for example, our river. So those are really big, huge projects, but those we're able to really keep those as a priority. And so then as other little things, flit in that can take you just off track, we've been trying to stay very, very vigilant as a council and as staff to keep those things as a focus for us. And so that's really where I think the priority lies right now.
Okay, so lastly, we have some rapid fire questions for you. Favorite restaurant in Littleton?
Angelo's.
Ooh. How early do you wake up in the mornings?
6 o'clock.
Oh my gosh.
I have a dog. He's up at 5:30.
How long have you lived in Littleton?
17 years.
Wow.
I
Where'd you
know.
live before?
Denver.
Nice. And last question, any guilty pleasure TV shows? You watch Game of Thrones?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
My favorite guilty pleasure was Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, interesting.
I know.
Anything else you would like to add?
I would just add that I think that there's, with summer coming, I think that there's so many fun things to do all over, obviously, but Littleton has some really, really fun events that I just want to mention a couple of them. One of them is the Littleton Criterium. And if you've never been to a Criterium, it's a bike race. And we do it downtown Littleton, and it's a timed race. And so the cyclists they drive through a path through downtown Littleton, through the neighborhoods, through on Main Street, and it's just a loop, and they go as fast as they can for an hour, and whoever wins. We are now we moved from just kind of being, our local bike shop wanted to do it, so now we are an international, we had national coverage this last race, and we have guys flying in to ride in the race. We've got a pretty good purse, so they come in for the purse. So we have the pro racers at the end, and then we have the other racers prior to that, but they like to race at night, so it's a twilight, so they like to race while it's dark.
That's fun.
It is one of the funnest things you'll ever see. We put on a whole big party, all kinds of food trucks, and there's bands, and there's a BMX race, and there's beer garden and all of that stuff that goes on. But I will tell you, it is one of the funnest rides. Bike racing's cool. They never charge for it, and you can get this close to the cyclist. So it's really a lot of fun. And then we also have a number of street festivals all summer long where people can come down and just enjoy the shops and the music and the outdoors. We've always got races, road races, running, all of that, all kinds of fun stuff. So there's always something to get involved in, and there's always a shop to shop in too.
Get a metal straw.
Get a metal straw.
Stainless steel.
Come to Dirt.
Where can people go if they want to learn more about getting plugged into the community of Littleton?
Well, we have obviously our website, and then we also have, that's littletongov.org, and then we also have a website called Littleton Rocks, and I think it's littletonrocks.com. But that has all the whole list of events of everything that's going on. And Hudson Gardens just came out with their concerts for the summer. They just published that. So one of them is Seal.
Awesome.
Who doesn't love Seal? So so that will tell you everything that's going on, where, when, what to know all about it.
Great. So. Cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Oh, you bet.
If
Thank
you're
you.
in Littleton, hang out at Dirt Coffee and look for Debbie. And we'll see you guys this summer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.